All right, so the definition of a composite function is that f circle g, mathematicians have defined, will be the same thing as f of g of x. So the problem is that sometimes it's like h circle z of x, and then you're trying to figure out what that is going to relate to in terms of this new notation f of g of x. So what I like to do is just keep everything generic and not talk about f and g, and just say I'm going to erase the first set of parentheses and then add a second set of parentheses around the second function, because that's ultimately what this definition has done. They've taken away the f or the parentheses around the first set of parentheses, and they've added a set of parentheses around g of x. All right, so if you start off here with g circle f of x, again, to get it out of this circle notation, what I'll do is I'll erase the first set of parentheses, I'll erase the circle, and then I'll add a second set of parentheses around the second function. So what that tells me is that what g circle f of x, by definition, means I'm trying to find g of f of x. Now, once you get the circle notation out of there, it really then is just evaluate the parentheses and plug in the right function. So we'll start with what is inside of the parentheses, and that is our f of x. Now, it all depends on what the question is given, but here let's work through question number 49. So question number 49, they give us that f of x is equal to x minus 4 over 6. So we will plug that into this inside parenthesis. So this will become g, and then plugging in that f of x is x minus 4 over 6. Now, once I evaluate the innermost parenthesis, then I need to evaluate the leftover parentheses here. And to do that, I need to use my g function. So I have that in question number 49, g of x is given as 4x plus 6. Now, we're not interested right here in finding g of x. We're interested in finding g of x minus 4 over 6. So I'm going to take the g of x definition, and I'm going to replace all those little x's with parentheses x minus 4 over 6. And then this x gets replaced with parentheses x minus 4 over 6 plus 6. And so this is my evaluation of g of x minus 4 over 6. It is now evaluated out to be 4 times x minus 4 over 6 plus 6. Now, usually that is not going to be an answer choice, so what you have to do is simplify. So the 4 and the 6, of course, have a common factor of 2, so we take that out, and then we can distribute this 2 to the x and to the minus 4. So that will give us 2x minus 8 over 3 plus 6. And again, that might be the answer choice, but there are like terms here to combine, because the negative 8 over 3 can combine with the 6. So I would get a common denominator there of 3 over 3. And then when I combine, I will get the g circle f of x is equal to 2x. The negative 8 plus what will be 18 will give us a plus 10 over 3. And that would be g circle f of x for any generic x. Now, in question number 49, they ask us for g circle f of 40. So what our final step will be is to replace all of our x's with 40. So we'll have 2 times 40 plus 10 over 3. That gives us 90 over 3. So we get 30 as our final answer. So just keep in mind, like on your final exam and on tests and so on, we might just ask f circle g of x, in which case you would be done at that point, or we could ask you to evaluate at a certain particular x, and in which case you would find the g circle f of x and then plug in whatever given number we have given you. But really it's a matter of getting out of that circle notation, plugging in the inside, and then doing the function evaluation for that outer function.